Hello comrades, welcome back to more Hearts of Iron 4. The Soviet struggle continues. We'll be shifting speed down a little bit, because we are starting to get slightly closer to where things actually start happening. We're still trying to clean up the Spanish Civil War, and we are still waiting for our extra research slot to come through. I'd like you to not liberate that unit, please. Actually, on second thought, we can probably hop in there before... Nope, never mind. Well, in that case, we'll just cut him off again. Easy as that. I will cut off one unit whether you like it or not. So there we go. We're now trying to cut this guy off because we can. Meanwhile, Soviet Russia is pretty quiet this time of year. Surprisingly. We're nearly done with our infantry weapon deficit, which means we can actually start exercising. Our civilian economy is building a lot of factories. We nearly have 3 full stacks of factories we can use to build things at the same time, which is helpful. Especially once we start getting invaded by, I don't know, some German Reich that might stretch from the Netherlands to Poland. We'll have to find out if that's really a thing. But yeah, what will definitely be a thing is our seasoned troops over here. They're doing pretty well, thankfully. Cutting off more Republicans. Everything's going... It's going okay. We did lose that one tank unit, unfortunately. But I mean, that's gonna happen at some point. You're gonna take losses. Excavation 1, excellent. That'll be very helpful. Let's get concentrated industry. You know, more factory output. Pretty swell. Factory output 5. Huh. They're now trying to attack over there, which is not gonna work. Because we have tanks there, come on. You cannot beat tanks. Still getting more army experience from the fighting. We can modify our government again. Oh yeah, right, we were gonna wait for Zhukov, weren't we? Okay, so he might... Tukhachevsky might get purged. Zhukov won't get purged, so... He's the same expense, but yeah, we'll wait for Zhukov, I suppose. Now we're gonna envelop this army here, because we can. The more units we kill, the easier the fight gets. Also, if we do happen to end up in a war against someone, then Republican Spain should be able to handle itself if we just kill everyone here. Or cut them off, rather. They're trying to push out. It's not working. There we go. Well, we should be able to cut off 2 units over here. And there we go. Nice. They're surrounded. Just finish them off, please. Want to wait for Zhukov, like we said. We still have like 6 million men on volunteer only. This is madness. Like, we won't ever have to change our conscription laws at this rate. We are currently winning, but it's not gonna work out too well, I think. We'll try it, I suppose, because we're not gonna get our tanks surrounded and killed or anything. Let's actually take back Madrid now. Outcomes undecided. You know, it would be great if the AI jumped in and was like, hey, we want to help you fight. Because you're fighting a good fight for us. But it's like, nope, you're going to have to do it on your own. Don't have a lot of convoys. Although we are about to finish this final destroyer. And then we have 4 people working on our submarines here, so... that might speed things along a bit, but still we'll need a lot of convoys when this is done. At least we'll be able to take back Madrid soon. That way Barcelona doesn't have to be their capital anymore. We've got our extra research slot. Very nice. That's still ahead of time. I'm tempted to go for radar. Or air doctrine at this point. Yeah, we can lay waste with optimal support. That's what the Soviet way is all about. Let's start the Great Purge. Obviously. Hindenburg incident. A close call. So the Hindenburg didn't die. The fifth column. The persecution of enemies of the people. Those who would reverse or subvert the revolution has been an ongoing policy since the party came to power. The internal power struggles that followed have shifted our focus, and purging the party ranks themselves has been given more emphasis in Trotsky's exile. Stalin has made himself an icon, but at the cost of making many real enemies and innumerable imaginary ones. Having seen the worst of internal power struggles, the General Secretary is prone to act on the slightest suspicion. Being purged from the party means imprisonment or death. Dark times lie ahead for those who show disloyalty. Or just a bit too much loyalty to seem credible. Are Zinoviev and his ilk still in touch with Trotsky? So yes, the purge has commenced. Better to get it out of the way early, before we get into a war with the Germans. We are starting to push Madrid slowly. Which is excellent. We'll just move in behind these guys because we can. If we can cut them off, that would be nice. But I'm not expecting a lot to happen. Unless we can take Madrid back and like make a sort of push back. And then we'll try to link the tanks up through there or something. These guys are now surrounded, which is bad for them. Obviously. We are making a push here though, which is nice. If they were just helping out with Madrid, that would be great. But no, they're super passive still. Which is a bit annoying. Come on. We have tanks. 3 divisions worth. We should be able to push through. No help from you? No? That's annoying. Why are we even fighting for them in the first place? Now, there is one thing with this front line. It's bloody long. Or at least, it's not as long yet. But once you start including the Baltic states, which we should take over in accordance with the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. If not, I'll just march in and take them myself, because I feel like we're validated in that. So that's going to be more front line for us to cover. Oh god damn it, they just got reinforced. Spain's still not helping with that. At all. Very frustrating. At least we have some more units cut off back there now. Yeah, this is just a messy war. Really, really messy. At least we have some veterans now. They get a 75% bonus in combat. I'm sort of hoping that they will all get to the level of experts. Or like veterans. 0.01%, that's... Yeah, well... We're getting some decent experience from all this combat. Although, these guys are very advanced, so I don't think they get a lot of... Yeah, daily experience progress to the next level is a lot lower because they're already a lot higher. That makes sense. Make it harder to get good. This is just pockets, pockets, pockets. This is extruding into our lines like what? This is just a weird war. They're now cut off here. This entire pocket is now starving of supplies. That's nice. There you go. We'll keep driving these guys forward. Why? Because it's funny. And now we have cut off a bunch of troops here. This should honestly mean the end. Pretty quickly. Oh, you just... Oh, god damn it. Well, they should die easily enough. They have no strength. And no supplies. So just die so I can support my attack here. Thank you, that'd be great. There we go. Mopping up like we own the place. Pretty soon we'll do. Just die. I'm gonna all pile up on there, and that should be the end of 4 divisions, including some Germans. That'll show them. You don't mess with the Soviets, not even in a proxy war. Yeah, the reason this is a proxy war is because we're technically fighting Germany, but we're not directly fighting them. Well, I say we're directly fighting them. This is why it's called proximity, so proxy war. We are fighting German soldiers. We're also fighting the nationalists under the flag of sending volunteers that are totally there on their own will and not like fighting because we sent them to or we told them to. There's some Japanese in that pocket. Interesting. Never thought sushi would be involved in the Spanish Civil War, but hey, goes to show what I know. How's their war looking? War is in a status quo. Nationalists are a lot closer to surrendering. They've lost a ton of troops though, Jesus. I'm not sure like how much manpower Spain has to begin with, but it's gotta be running out at some point. Especially with everyone getting surrounded and killed all the time. Amelia Earhart circumnavigates the globe again. Wow. Oh dear. Trial of the anti-Soviet Trotskyist Center. Despite Leon Trotsky being forced into exile, Joseph Stalin fears that he has secret supporters within the party. A series of rapid arrests and brutal interrogations have yielded confessions and testimonies, conveniently pointing to some of Stalin's rivals. However, the more questions are asked and the deeper the secret police delves into letters and journals, the more people are implicated, if indirectly. Party members are beginning to believe that Stalin's absolute power and the death of his wife have isolated him to the point where he perceives anyone as a threat. But isn't that exactly what a traitor would say? We can either purge Mikhail Kalinin, who gives plus 15% national unity, because his wife is suspected, so he can't be trusted either. Nikita Khrushchev, who actually rose to power later on in the Soviet Union. And I think he took over after Stalin died. Can also be purged. Because he dabbled with Trotskyism in the past, so he must go. So we could purge him. He gives daily communism support, so I don't really care about him. Besides, it's not like Khrushchev has an important role to play in history. Or we could also go with Radek's confession, points to several people within the party. Get rid of political people, but don't purge anyone in particular. We could also go for party members can be trusted, this paranoia must cease. Will lead to a civil war in the future. I'm gonna go with Nikita Khrushchev. I don't really, we don't need extra communism support in the Communist Party here. It's fine. Bye, Khrushchev. There goes our historical accuracy. Oh well. I mean, we sort of stuck with history. We did the Purge. That's all people can ask. Yoink. Tie him down, mop him up. Make sure he doesn't get unsurrounded. Improved machining tools. Well, don't mind if I do. Still ahead of time, just making sure. The LBSH, close air support. Yeah, let's start researching that. It's not ahead of time. We want to get the IL-2 Sturmovik. Mostly because that is an amazing flight sim. It's also a great close air support plane. Famous. Because of the Second World War, basically. Obviously. Yeah, we're gonna be making a lot of use of that in this war. Over the vast steppes. We'll blow up all the German tanks from right under their feet. The German-Soviet Treaty. Despite harsh previous rhetoric against both the people and the ideological leadership of the Soviet Union, Adolf Hitler and Germany have now reached out to us, requesting a mutually beneficial research treaty. While exchanging knowledge would help our efforts to develop new tank designs, along with promises of other research benefits in the future, there is little doubt, considering previous statements, that the Germans are doing this for their own sake. Should we go forward with the agreement despite the risk of aiding Adolf Hitler's ambitions? So we can either say the capitalists are a worse threat to us both, we accept. They like us a bit more. Trade relations go up, we get 1 times 100% reduced ahead of time penalty for medium tank models. I think that means we'd be able to get the A32 in 0.46 years ahead of time, so we'd be able to get to the T-34 faster, which is the famous tank that quote-unquote won the war, as they put it, which might be correct, because T-34 was quite easy to use, quite easy to build, like mass production, etc. There were literally reports of at the worst part of the Second World War for the Russians, they were literally building the tanks in the factories, and they were, before the tracks were finished, they would already start firing on the Germans. They'd be crewed instantly, like basic rudimentary training, and they would literally roll out of the factories onto the battlefield. T-34 really did win the war. We can also deny, which would grant armor research time plus 75% for a year. We'd lose political power and they hate us. We'll accept it. Because I like the A32. And by extension, the T-34. We'll start researching that once we're done with construction. Actually, we can cut them off over here. That'd be even better. We'd have to roll them up quickly though. I mean, it's pretty clear that this war has been decided. The Republicans are gonna win. We've just killed too many divisions. Let's take a look. They have about 10 to 23. We have 23 to 51. Overrun. Make that 9 to 22. They just don't have the divisions to man the front anymore. Marco Polo bridge incident near China. Well, I say near China, it's in China. It's near Beijing. We'll run to the port, cut them off of supplies, that'll be wonderful. And surround them in doing so. We'll attack you over there. 13 to 19. So the estimate is getting more accurate by way of elimination. That's fine, we'll kill more. They dare. They are like, oh yeah, we're gonna take more territory despite taking 57% attrition, dear lord. We've cut off a huge pocket here, which is like most of their forces. Excellent. This is going well. Very well indeed. Still not getting any support from the bloody... Oh, there we go. Tie them up in a multiple combat situation. That'll decrease our attack and defense drastically. Genius. Brilliant. Other flattering words I like to say about myself. Yes. Multiple combat. Attrition is high. Very high. These guys will be cut off without any organization soon. They're actually attempting a landing. Wow. Brave. Or foolish. We have enough for Zhukov. Military High Command. No, he was a theorist. Now we gain experience every day because we can. Still getting more effective at building things. We have infantry equipment. We're now phasing out weapons 1. We're now phasing out basic equipment, I mean. So that's good. That's going to help us a lot. Not being crap. It's pretty good. I recommend it. They're not out of organization there for some reason. Let's start mopping them up. And then we'll make a run to their ports here. They should be out of, like, unity soon. I mean, they only have like 12 divisions left. Most of them are overrun already. Or in the process of being overrun. Encirclement penalty, excellent. If only more would join in. But I guess that's asking too much. Oh well. We'll survive. They won't. That's not my problem. Construction 2. Hell, hello. Comrade, get us the BT-7 light tank. It only takes us 70 days. Mop it up like that. There we go. Actually, we can mop it up like that. I think Zaragoza has a bunch of supplies stored, so that's why they're not out of supply yet. These guys, however, are pretty clearly dead. And no, we'll wait for their supplies to dwindle. It's fine. Cut off these guys because we're generous like that. Still no help from Republic and Spain in closing this tiny pocket. That's annoying. Wish the friendly AI would jump in when you're like, oh, yeah, you're helping us on our front. Thank you. You're also doing a bloody good job of it. Here, we'll come and help you. But it's like, nope. We'll just watch you fight them off on your own. You got this, right? Yeah, of course you do. And they only move in when we squish them. Typical. Oh, we're getting some help now. Took forever. We're about to clean this pocket up, we're about to clean all the pockets up. Secret trial of the generals! The Red Army has always been home to subversive elements, ever since Trotsky himself was Commissar of War. Documents acquired by the NKVD, the secret police, have implicated several high-ranking officers as not only traitors, but spies. Mikhail Tukhachevsky is among the most prominent of the suspects, and one Stalin is keen to rid the army of. Meanwhile, the Navy's frequent contact with foreigners has led to many of them being arrested as well. Although there are documents from our enemies proving their guilt, there is no telling if they fabricated them, or if they were given false information by those who purely wanted this purge in motion to begin with. Tukhachevsky must be tried in secret and executed immediately. No. Increases penalty from officers purged. Can execute Timochenko, Voroshilov, division training time. Removes Ivan Yumashev. But I like him, he gives capital ship stuff. Removes Rokossovsky. Armor, division, attack and defense. You know what? I'm almost tempted to go for the Civil War in the future. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna have fun with that. I don't want to purge any of those guys. They seem like decent folk. There's gonna be hell to pay for that decision, but oh well. We have the manpower. 6.19 million of it. It'll be fine. Not sure what you guys are worried about. Come on, get in there. It's not paused, just kill them. They're low on supplies, come on. Concentrated Industry 2. Can't get Concentrated Industry 3, we'll get Excavation because we have a crap ton of resources everywhere. Besides, who doesn't like resources? Formation Flying, hello. We can get the T-35 into the KV-1, but I don't want to get the T-35, that's rubbish. That's still ahead of time. We need to research stowed anti-tank, that'd be a nice idea. We'll start a basic production line for that soon, at some point. There we go, crush them all under our mighty boots. These guys might actually be getting a supply from somewhere. As in, they're not out of supply yet. It's a bit weird. Just die already. We've clearly won the Civil War. Just give up. We'll let you return to somewhere. Quickly sneak into Oviedo. Yes. We'll just ignore this port and go around them. Quickly, keep rolling over them. They should crumble. Japan declared war on Jiangxi. Here we go. Things are kicking off in the east. Japan declares war on China. Up to 22% hostility in the world. Or tension. Same difference. We'll keep pushing this guy because it's fun to stomp all over him. Once we take Karuna, this should be the end of the war. They've already fallen back once, they'll fall back again. These guys are just getting squirmed. Yeah, they're not holding. Their organization is dropping quickly. They might put up a resistance in Karuna, but we'll just hurtle this guy towards them like, oh no! We've bought that guy some time to get there first. We might overrun this guy. Yep, we have. Excellent. We didn't even give him a chance to fall back. Amazing. Yep, they're putting up a stiff defense of Karuna. We have the entire country though, so it's not like they're gonna win. Silly people. Fighting and everything. Don't they know that the great Soviet States is superior? Nearly forgot what I was gonna say there. It's like, I wanted to say the USSR, the United Soviet Separatist Russia. I don't know. State of Russia, I think it is. United Soviet State of Russia. That's my final answer. If that's wrong, then feel free to shout at me in the comments. I'm probably wrong. There we go. Divisions have returned. We have won the Spanish Civil War. Good for Spain. Trial of the 21. After several rounds of arrests and trials, the Great Purge has weaved a narrative that led up to this trial. Among the accused are not only old leaders like Nikolai Bukharin, but a number of diplomats, politicians, military officials, and even high-ranking NKVD officers. The charges are also more extensive than previously, including decades-old plot to murder Soviet leaders and sell the Union to its enemies. The Union... Okay, I give up on this USSR stuff. The fact that the NKVD themselves are now among the targets of the Purge has in a sense brought the proceedings in full circle. Threats and beatings have led to many confessions to all charges, even the most outlandish ones. The leading defendants face execution. Oh, this gets rid of the Navy capital guy. But this probably gets rid of air support. Oh god. Close air support. Yeah, we're gonna go with the Navy and Air Force have been getting off too easy so far. It's not like we're gonna have a giant fleet anyway. And I'd rather sacrifice him than sacrifice the guy that gives us close air support stuff. Which is actually what we need. We'll start working on some military factories next because we have a good, or at least decent, civilian economy by now. We're also getting a couple from trade. Like oil production is going up by like 24 every time we research excavation. Which is nice. We're also still producing plenty of aluminium. We're getting 17 of that. Steel though, it's like, yeah, one thing of that, 70 steel extra. So at the very least, we're getting a ton of supplies from everywhere. We can import rubber, that's fine. The British should always be willing to trade with us. We just don't have a lot of convoys to do the trading with. People's Republic of China. We can't invite them to our faction. Volunteers have returned to Leningrad. Welcome home, Zhukov. He's got 73%. That's not bad. He did very good. He's learning traits: trickster, engineer, mountaineer, hillfighter, ranger, urban assault specialist. He's getting good. Very good. That's nice. We've researched a BT-7. 170 days for the A32. Yes, please. We're going to be working our way up to that. We're also going to upgrade our T-26 production to said BT-7. It takes more steel, but it shouldn't take anything else. We can't create a variant yet. That'll be fine. We've got a lot more dangerous tanks now, which is lovely. We have a ton of production of our weapons, which is awesome. That's the benefit of having, like, heavy industry. We really get to be able to produce a ton of things. Yeah, we produce like 73 per factory. Or 73 units of production. Because of our industry focus, which is just great. And I know I've just said that already, but... Great Purge is nearly done. So we will face a civil war at some point. Oh. The Shanking Front, apparently. And this is the Japanese front. It's about time we signed these to a division. They don't quite have the reach for that. You know, let's then edit the front line down to here. Mongolia, are you actually one of ours? Yes, they are. Okay, that's good. Well, actually, a war, though, is the question. I don't think so, no. That's good. But yeah, we'll keep our forces stationed here. Want to push into Japan if we can. I'm not sure if they actually... Yeah, they own it, but it's a colony state, okay. I'm just curious, like, they don't have the war over, but it might belong to them by default anyway, so if we take this, it might lower their unity a little bit, which might help in the long run. Yeah, as it stands, we're just waiting for our purge to finish. 10 more days, and then we'll be done with it. Thank God. We'll add a new line for... not artillery. Producing about 5 submarines a year. This should take less than a year. I think our dockyard production is also going up because of the factory focus, which is great. Yeah, concentrated industries, like, yep, you're doing amazing, keep going. Awesome. That's gonna actually help us churn out ships at a reasonable pace. I never knew that, like, I had a suspicion, but I never knew it for certain. But it's cool to see that the factory output, etc. also goes to dockyards. Makes sense, but it's nice to know for sure. The Great Purge is finished. We might want to go for an armament effort, I'm not gonna lie. Or we can go for a rehabilitated military, which gains reinforce rate 2%, recovery rate plus 10%, or we can get subversive activities. I'm gonna go with rehabilitated military. Also grants improved reinforce rate. Yeah, now I'm not entirely sure if I want NKVD divisions. We'll go for military reorganization instead because it gives us land doctrine bonus. So, I'm gonna end this episode here with our Great Purge finished. We'll have to face a civil war at some point, but the Soviet Union is strong enough to face it. If you enjoyed this episode, please do leave a like down below, comrade. It really does help out a lot. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. And if you want to see more, why not subscribe? Anyway, until next time. Have a good one, folks.